All right, just getting set up here. Over here on YouTube. So YouTube, if you're watching live on August 30th, 2023, join us over here on Zoom. Look in the chat. You'll find a link. You'll find a passcode. We'd love to meet you, greet with you, talk to you after the class. Join us. All right, good evening. It's Increase. I'm Blake Anderson. It is August 30th, 2023. Thrilled to be here with you. And I am about to start teaching something that has been so near and dear to my heart. I would say it's probably been at the forefront of my pursuit for the last decade. And that is purpose. What are we here for? Who am I? Does my life matter? You know, isn't that the quintessential question of humanity? I think there's really two things that we're all searching for is where did I come from and who am I? Where did I come from and who am I? Just seem to be the questions that everybody is searching after, because really, what are we doing? We're searching for God. We're searching for our Creator. And we instinctively know that when we find Him, we'll find ourselves. That we'll answer the question, who am I and why am I here? We'll put the puzzle pieces together. And really, that makes sense on why Jesus said there's two great commandments. The first one, that you would love God with all your heart, all your mind, and all your soul. And then second, you love others as yourself, that we would find our identity in Him. And everyone is searching out for that answer. So if you've ever asked those questions, the next 5 weeks are for you. Dig in tonight. Follow me, get your Bibles, get your notepads, get your pens, take notes. I'm going to take you on a journey, and I hopefully will introduce you to you. I'll lead you through a process where you will find yourself, where hopefully you will connect with your meaning, with your purpose, and connect with your path to greatness. So let's dig in tonight. These questions ever sound familiar? Maybe they've come out of your lips. Why am I here? What is my purpose? What should I do? There has to be more, but I don't know what it is. Maybe you've tried to answer those with, I want to be rich, or I don't have to be rich, or I want to be happy, or I just want to feel like my life matters. That sound familiar? I know I've spent decades asking those questions, saying those statements, seeking for the answers, looking down every rabbit hole that I could find to dive into, hoping to find the answer to that question. And ultimately, what was I trying to find? Where did I come from? Who am I? What is my purpose? So through that search, I found the answer. I found where I came from, and I found myself, but I also was given a framework, given a blueprint, given a path to discover this. And I want to share that with you tonight. I want to share that with you with the next 5 weeks. So the first thing that we have to understand, we've got to settle the argument about whether your life matters, and we've got to establish that it does before we can even move forward. Because if you don't know whether your life matters or whether you were created on purpose for a reason, then no matter what we find on the other end will matter. Let's start with this. Understand your life is not an accident, that you were created on purpose. The Bible says that you were created in the image and likeness of God. It says that He knows the hairs on your head. So He has a plan for you, and there is an intention for your life. You are not a happy accident. You are not a mistake. Ephesians 1 verse 4 says, according as He hath chosen us in Him before the foundation of the world, that we should be holy and without blame before Him loved. Do you hear that? He chose you before the foundation of the world. Before he created this whole globe and this earth, you were written into the story. You were written into the story to live right now on purpose for a reason. You were designed and fashioned that way. Jeremiah 1:5 says, before I formed thee in the belly, I knew thee. Before thou camest forth out of the womb, I sanctified thee. I ordained thee a prophet unto the nations. He said, Jeremiah, before I formed you in your mom's womb, I knew who you were. Now listen, you may not be the prophet Jeremiah. You may not write a book that was recorded in the Bible. You may never write a book, but guess what? God knew you before he formed you. This promise that he made, this statement he said to Jeremiah is for you. Ephesians 1:4 said he knew you before the foundation of the world. So he knew you before he put you on this earth. Listen, you were born at this specific time in history for a divine reason. Esther 4:14 says, for if you keep silent at this time, relief and deliverance will rise for the Jews from another place, but you and your father's house will perish. And who knows whether you have not come to this kingdom for such a time as this? The question was asked to Esther. Weren't you born for such a time as this? You were placed here for a reason. And that's a promise. And that is a true statement for you sitting right there. You who are trying to figure out where you came from and what your life is for. You who haven't even figured out your purpose. You're born for such a time as this, for this moment right now in history. And what a moment to be alive. Listen, not only did he know you before he created this whole story, not only did he know when he would put you on this earth, you need to understand that when God created you, he created you with a purpose. Look no further than Philippians 2:13. And Philippians 2:13 says, for it is God who works in you both the will and to do for his good pleasure. Listen, when he made you, he gave you the will or the desire to do something. And he gave you he gave you the ability to do it. Why? For his good pleasure. See, God wrote this story, created you with a purpose for this time to accomplish his good pleasure. And he's accomplishing it by giving you a desire, something that you so desperately and passionately want to do. And he gave you the ability to do it. Listen, you also need to understand that there is a plan for your life and it is good. Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the plans I have for you. This is God speaking, declares the Lord, plans for welfare and not for evil, to give you a future and a hope. See, when he created you with a plan, and his plan for you is to give you in a future, an expected end, and for it to be good. That wasn't just a promise to Jeremiah. It wasn't just a promise to the nation of Israel. It's a promise for every single human being of God's creation. It's extended to you. The invitation is there that you would step into this great plan that he has for you because he wants it to be good and he wants to take you somewhere good. You'll have to respond to the invitation. And understand this, God is committed to that cause. He's committed to your cause. Philippians 1:6 says, for I am sure of this. You hear that? Paul's sure of this. It's certain. That he who hath began a good work in you will bring it to completion at the day of Jesus Christ. Listen, you listening on the other side of that screen on YouTube, wondering, is he talking to me? Yes, I'm talking to you. Yes, this Bible's talking to you. Yes, the Apostle Paul is writing to all of humanity because he understands God's heart and the intentionality of our God to create things for a reason. He says, listen, this God who made you did it for a reason. He began a good work and he's going to bring it to completion. Now, you may not have figured out what that is yet. You've maybe only been marginally stepping into it, but hopefully after the next 5 weeks, you're going to have clear eyes to see the plan that your God has for your life, the design in which he's made you so that you could step more fully into this promise of this plan that he has for you. Where we're going to be going over the next 5 weeks, including tonight, is there's 5 components to really understanding both our purpose and also the process that we're going to be on to be able to step into it. Okay. So you can write these down. We're going to go over them one at a time per week, but they're going to build on each other because we're building your purpose, your understanding of it. Okay. And so we have this 5-step process we're going to go through. Tonight, we're going to be talking about vision, the dream. It's on your heart, the dream that you've been given. The next week, we're going to be talking about calling, because we all have a calling, this thing that's been placed on our heart that calls out to us that we have to pursue, whether we're doing it or not. The third week, we're going to be talking about gifts, because listen, every single person has been given a unique gift that makes you specifically you, this thing that you do better than anyone else on this planet. Fourth week, we're going to talk about the process of the wait. Can't ignore that. Can't get around it. Is the integral part. There is a wait involved, but it has a purpose. So stay tuned. We'll be with us all 5 weeks to understand. And then finally, week 5, we understand the power that comes with our purpose. We understand the process for which us to step into that empowered life, where we are powered by purpose, empowered on purpose to prosper. All right. So let's step into it. Here's what I want you to understand. Many of us are not getting ahead because we don't know which way to go. Let's just be honest. How far down the road can you really walk? How far down the path can you really travel when you don't even know where the path is? A lot of us long to go great places, to accomplish great things, to live out our dreams. But oftentimes we don't even know which way to go. Okay? But listen, I want to tell you this. When you understand your purpose in life, when you become clear about who you are, your path becomes clear. There's maybe not a more important thing for a human being to dedicate their time to than to understand, where did I come from and who am I? Because when you begin to understand and you start to become crystal clear about who you are and who you're not, that path will start to become clear. There'll be parts along the journey where you won't know which way it's going to turn or what's around the next corner. But trust me, as you become clear about who you are, your path to your destiny, your path to your destination starts to become clear. So let's dig into it. First step, first part of your purpose. You got to understand your purpose is really is a three-component part. It's your dream, it's your calling, and it's the gift that you've been given, because everybody was born with a dream. God said he had a plan for you. He said he knew you before he created the foundation of the world. He said he knew you before he put you on this earth. He said he put you on this earth for a specific time with specific gifts to accomplish a specific thing. See, he's got a design for it. He's placed this dream in your heart. So I think where a lot of us have gone wrong over the years is we've been looking for our purpose, for our dream in all the wrong places. We've been going outside to discover what can only be found inside. You see, this journey to purpose is a journey on the inside, because we have to go in to find out who we are, who we were created to be, so then we can live out. Because see, this isn't something that you learn. This isn't something that you find in anything else. You might have to discover it. It might have to be revealed, but it's written in your DNA. It's written in the spiritual code of your life and who you are. And it starts with the dream that he's put on your heart. You remember Jeremiah 29:11 says that he knows the plans he has for you, right? And guess what? Somewhere deep down, you do too. Beneath the pain and the hardships, beneath the regrets, beneath the words that have told you that you wouldn't amount to much, beneath the taunts of the enemy, is that dream that you were born with, that you were sent here with, because he sent you here with a mission to accomplish, with something to do. And it's in there. And sometimes we feel it. And sometimes we have a hard time describing it. And sometimes even when we're about to give up on it, we know we really can't, because to do that would be to die. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. You see, what the Bible is trying to help you understand is how important that this vision is, how important that this dream is. This doesn't mean that without eyesight that people will drop dead. Vision is prophetic vision. Vision means the dream that you have. Vision means this place afar off that you're trying to get to. And perish doesn't necessarily mean that you drop dead, but it means that you'd go astray. See, what the Bible's saying is, for you to have a prosperous life, for you to have a successful life, you're going to have to be pursuing something, because it's the pursuit of that dream that keeps you on your path. It's that goal out in their distant future that keeps you moving in the right direction. It's your North Star. It's the way that God guides your life. He guides your life with that dream he's put on your heart, with the plan that's written in your spiritual DNA. It gives you eyes to see it out there, and it gives you a determination to pursue it. Is there someone here that's tried to forget about your dream? Or maybe thought maybe it was for someone else? Or maybe you had a season where you knew it was so important, but you seem to lost connection to it. Listen, I'm going to tell you what, if you've lost connection with your dream, with your vision, then you're going astray. I'm sorry. You may be living a wonderful, loving life, but if you're not pointed towards your vision, you're going astray. The Bible says, if you don't have your vision, you're going to go unrestrained. You're going to go off your path. You're not going to be pursuing it. And maybe you don't perish by falling over dead, but maybe you perish inside because you're not connected to the life-giving power of your purpose. Remember that Proverbs 13:12 says that hope deferred makes the heart grow sick, but when desire comes, it's the tree of life. You see, your desire, your dream is a tree of life to you. It's the thing that gives you life. The pursuit of that dream brings you alive, gives you energy, gives you inspiration. So it's time to reconnect with that dream. Simply put, we've got to block out all the noise. We've got to tune down all the voices and all the distractions and all the things that might say it's too late. It says you haven't done it yet. Why would you start now? You're not special like those people on TV. You're not special like the people on social media. No, see, that's a lie. We've got to get connected with this vision so we can start living into our purpose. And here's the way that we need to do it. Habakkuk 2, verses 2-3 gives us the process that God says is so critical. I don't want you to perish. I want you to stay on your path. I want you to pursue this thing that I've placed inside of you, because it will be life-giving to you. And here's what you got to do. Habakkuk 2 says, write the vision and make it plain so that he may run who readeth it. Listen, I'm going to give you some questions that are written behind me. I'm going to have you write down. It's going to be your homework for the week. And if you do nothing else between now and next Wednesday, take time to answer these questions. And when you do, it becomes the clear vision that you get to run to. Because God is saying he wants you to run for that vision. He wants you to run at the dream that he's put inside of you. This is what's going to keep you on your course and keep you from falling astray, from wandering off your path, from being vulnerable to attack. Write the vision, make it plain, that he may run that readeth it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it shall speak and not lie. Though it tarry, wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not tarry. Listen, this vision maybe not be for today. It may not be for tomorrow. It's for an appointed time. It's supposed to be out there in the future. It's supposed to be something that keeps you moving in the right direction. And it's supposed to be something so big you can see it from afar off and that you'll never stop. But listen, this Bible verse says, listen, it may feel like you've got to wait. It may feel like it takes a long time. But in the end, it'll speak. In the end, this vision will become true. And though you seem to wait for it, because you will get there. and it will get to you. So here's the questions that you need to ask yourself, because this is a hard thing. Let's be honest. If you've ever tried to write your vision, it seems like it should be so easy. And there's certain days you feel like you could write a book about where you've been and where you want to go. And there's a lot of days where it's really hard. Some of the hardest conversations for some people is when they're asked to define what they really want in life. They become so disconnected. The hope has been deferred for too long and their heart feels sick. But listen, ask yourself these questions. Remind yourself first that whether you want to admit it or not, you were created in the image of God. You're not an accident. He decided on your life, the plan for your life, the time you would live before he created this whole earth and before he put you on it. So you are not an accident. You were designed, and he desired for you to live right now for the reason that's that dream on your heart. So whether you feel like you deserve it or not, doesn't matter. He created you for it. He's already decided, or he wouldn't have put you here. So here's the questions that you start asking yourself. I want you to write these down. I want you to take the time to fully answer these, because I'm going to tell you, by answering all three of these questions, you're going to begin to see it come into focus, this dream on your heart. And you need to understand that this dream on your heart is how God accomplishes his good pleasure. It's how he accomplishes his plan, by giving you a dream to pursue. Okay. First question, write this down. What is your dream? Or what has your dream been? Take time to really journal through the moments in your life where you had a dream, where you felt like there was something important that you wanted to do, that you were put on this earth for. We've had glimmers and glimpses of it, all of us, because it was placed on our heart. Our heart gets covered over with offenses and shame and guilt and hurt, but it's under there. And we've had moments where it's shown through and we've connected with it. What have those moments been? What is your dream? What's that thing that just continues to come back? The thing that every time you forget about it, it seems to find its way back. You see, listen, if you can forget it, it wasn't for you. But there are certain things that you just can't outrun. There are certain things that will always chase you down. There are certain things that will always find you. It's you. It's his plan for you. Here's another question. Ask yourself this. What legacy do you want to leave? It's another way to answer it. At the end of your life, when you're stepping from this world to the next, what's the legacy that you want to leave behind? Another way to ask the same question is, at your funeral, when the people who knew you best stand up to talk about your life, what do you hope they'll say? What do you hope your kids say about you when you leave? What do you hope your friends say about you when you leave? What do you hope your coworkers, your employees, your team members, what do you hope they say about you when you leave? What legacy do you want to leave behind? Something deeply personal in that question. Take the time to answer it. And don't forget about the joy that you long to experience. You know, God says that he wants us to be filled with joy, and that the joy of the Lord is our strength, that it's an integral part of us living our life on purpose, that we experience joy. Because when you are fully living your life on purpose as yourself, it is a joyful experience. You know, really, we get the most fulfillment and enjoyment as human beings, not when we accomplish a goal, but the movement towards a goal. It's really forward momentum and progress that gives us the most joy and fulfillment, not really even the accomplishing of it. But it's that joy of the pursuit of becoming that continues to propel us forward towards that dream. So don't forget to think about this when you're trying to think about that dream inside of you. God wants you to be led in with your joy. What experiences do you want to have? Are there places that you feel like you just really want to get to one day? Are there bucket list items? There was a movie years ago of a man, I think he was given a year to live. He had cancer, and he created a bucket list of things he wanted to do. And he spent the next year checking them all off, trying to accomplish all those things. He wanted to make sure he got all those events in before he ran out of time. What are the experiences that you want to have before you leave this world? You get one time around. And our next life undoubtedly will be filled with wonderful, glorious, purposeful things. But what are the things you want to make sure that you do before you can't do them again? Set aside time to answer those questions. This becomes the first component in really understanding who you are. I love this John Eldredge quote. It says, desire reveals design, and design reveals destiny. The first component of understanding your purpose is knowing and being clear about the vision that you have for your life, which is the vision that God created you to live into. Hit me up on social media, join me on the Zoom chat, comment in the YouTube comments. Let me know how this exercise goes. I can't wait to meet with you next week as we share about our vision and we add the second component to our purpose, which is our calling. See you next week.